Thank you. All right. We are now comfortable. Welcome back to Sappho and her sister.
I'm nervous.
Why are you nervous?
It's a fucking day. I
Yeah.
don't know what this is gonna be. I know it's not gonna go well for me. I don't know how yet, but just the way my day has been going, like, I don't want to know what's gonna happen.
Relax. Why don't you tell the people what we're doing today?
Well, I want to give an update first.
Of what?
I sound like trash because I just got over COVID, and I was finally able to breach containment, and I'm feeling better. And
Breach containment?
yeah.
Jesus
I
Christ.
was really mad to just be doing nothing. And now that I'm doing something, I kind of want to do nothing again, but also when I'm forced to do nothing, I just hate it.
Right. Valid.
Because I feel so fucking useless.
Also, today's beverage is honey chamomile tea and water.
We're actually drinking the same thing, except I haven't tried mine yet. Wait, can I tell how I just I was walking up the stairs. There's like 4 or 5 stairs to get to our apartment, right? And I had like way too many bags on my arm that were heavy, and I like the weight was all unbalanced, and then I like tripped a little bit, and I tried to catch myself, and for a moment I almost successfully caught myself, but then I didn't, so I just ended up like landing on my knees on the floor, and it was the loudest, longest, most dramatic fall ever. If you've listened to this podcast for even half a second, you'll know that the walls in her apartment building are like tissue paper. Like, they're just an illusion. So, yeah, I walk in and she was like, "Are you okay? Did you just fall?" Like, yes, I did.
Well, cause like I heard the big door open, and I was in the kitchen, which is like around the corner, and then I heard boom, 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 and I'm like, was that her? And then I hear you walk in, and I'm like, did you fall?
It was like a slow motion, multi-step fall. It was so pathetic.
Now that I'm
not okay.
rethinking it, it's funnier than when I first thought about it.
The shit I've done, it's just really funny.
Pretty much. Anyway.
We're going to be talking about really shitty job stories because unfortunately Allie has one.
Wouldn't be me if I didn't have one. If you're watching this, people, at the current time of December 7th, I am unemployed.
Is this the anniversary of Pearl Harbor?
No, I think it's the 6th.
I thought it was the 7th.
I want to say, I think it's D-Day.
No, I swear it was Pearl Harbor.
Which I think is D. No, D-Day is different. D-Day.
Who Google's fast enough? Pearl Harbor Day.
D-Day. Oh, D-Day is June 6th.
It is today. Fuck
Oh, well, happy.
Be proud of me.
Well,
yeah, happy anniversary of the bombing on a naval base.
Well, thank you to veterans who have served in Pearl Harbor or have family from either around the world, wherever this reaches people. Thank you for your service, or, we apologize for the scenario, I guess.
We apologize for the scenario as if we're the one that
No, but it is a sucky. It is a sucky scenario, but for people who have lost like family members as a result of it, that kind of thing. So, kudos to them.
I don't want to be making too much light of it because both of my granddads served in Vietnam, so like I know what it's like to hear stories from veterans, so like I do understand the severity.
Yes.
It was just like, oh hey, isn't this the day?
Yeah, I think I got confused because D-Day is June 6th, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Today's the 7th. Yeah. I know it's the 6th of something.
Dad would be proud of me for remembering.
He'll be proud of both of us. But yes, so thank you for military people. We love you. We appreciate you. We could never do it. So it's your job, not ours. But yeah, so we're gonna be talking about workplace concerns. Most of these are not. It's gonna be a pretty heavy episode. If Trigger warning towards the end of the episode for SA, sexual harassment. I tried to pick ones that kind of fit in a line where it leads up to a scenario that happened to me. I did not, just to clarify, I did not get personally SA'd. It was verbal words of harassment.
Still not
So
okay.
it's still not okay, correct. But I'm fine. I was not physically harmed. Just a trigger warning, if this episode is going to get pretty heavy, please feel free to skip through. You don't need to, like, you don't have to watch if you don't need, like, if you're going to be bothered in any way, shape, or form. We don't want anyone to feel like they have to watch it. So disclaimer on that.
Take care of yourself.
Yes, if it's too heavy for you, at any time, feel free to skip over, go watch another video, or wait for the next one. All right. So our first story is it's kind of a PSA. So I think this is good to start off. And this is coming from the Reddit thread r/toxic workplace. So it says, if you are in a toxic workplace or if it feels like that for you, leave ASAP.
That's what I told you.
This is not a, hey, maybe you should consider searching for another job type of post. If you are in a toxic workplace, get out of there. Trust me. At first you'll think that it's just a phase, but that shit will drain you like crazy if you keep working there. I've been there. Actually, I'm still there, but finally considered and chosen to quit this because let me tell you, my mental health is not existing at this point. I'm so done and exhausted with life in general because of this. You have to know one thing. A toxic job doesn't only, or wait a second, hang on. You have to know one thing. A toxic job isn't only your, the way they worded this.
You need medical attention. That's what I hate about Reddit. They will word things in a way that, like, nobody speaks like that. And, like, benefit of the doubt if English is not your first language. But
no, like, they're fine. It's just I'm trying to think of the word to, like, make it a proper sentence, and it's not coming out correctly.
Like, help.
Okay. You have to know one thing. A toxic job doesn't just affect your situation in the job itself. It'll spread to all of your life areas. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. Woo! It'll spread to all areas of your life till it demolishes everything you loved or cared for, especially if you are on your own, because you gotta sit with these thoughts all day on your own, too drained to talk to people about it, and even if you do, it's still going to affect you harshly. So if you are still in a good mental position and you feel like something at your workplace is off, look for another job as soon as you can, or if you still have the energy and time. Because I don't. I'm over the line. I need to quit and to clear my head for half a year or more to get back to myself because I feel like I lost myself in the process. Don't forget you are not alone, even if you think the people you care for and care for you are always available. I had to learn it the hard way. Was it a mistake? Not sure, because I didn't know what was coming ahead. But I know for sure this isn't going to happen to me again. Thanks for reading. Keep your head up and have a good one.
I'm glad that you saw this particular post so soon after your situation.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those are words that you should hear.
Yes.
Also, can I interject? Literally about 2 sentences into that post, I remembered that I wanted to address something else.
What is it?
You're gonna think it's the stupidest thing ever.
Does it go with the theme?
No,
Am I cutting
it's my
this?
sweater. It's gonna be very loud, and I apologize, but it's also a lot of fun.
If you're gonna stim on your shirt,
I'm not gonna do it loudly.
stim with the mic up here and your hand down here, okay?
I feel like I'd rather just like don't do
the titty rub for the people.
Just an example of how fun this is. I thought it would be a really great sweater and a really fun one, but then I was like walking down the hall at work today, and it was
making a bunch of noise.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, I feel so fucking annoying right now.
That's how I feel in my rain boots because they're very clicky. So when I walk in them on like non-carpeted places or like outside, I'm like click 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 click, and I'm like Jesus Christ, I hate this.
I used to wear boots with heels on them they were so loud that my parents like always knew where I was within a store. They would know if I was near.
Pretty much.
Okay, that wraps up my nonsense.
Okay. So I'll click on the next one. These kind of go in an order of like a PSA to venting to all that kind of jazz. So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
So hang on. All right, take this.
What fucked up?
No, I unplugged my laptop charger.
Oh.
Okay.
Just so it would reach over. Okay.
Ooh, this one's on r/r/.
R slash? Okay.
r/anti-work.
R slash anti-riot.
I can't fucking talk today.
I think this tea is making me more giggly.
What did you put in this tea?
Nothing. You put the fucking tea bag in there. I just put water in it. Right, go for it. I guess we're making this.
We are forcibly making this a lighter episode than it should.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, fellow anti-workers, feeling shitty, need a place to vent. Hope you all don't mind.
All right. Slow it down. Speed racer.
Your cat is napping under the tree, and she just looks so precious.
I'll take a picture.
Yeah, she's just like eyes closed, looks so happy.
I'll also, y'all have to see my perfect living room because I just cleaned it today.
It's picturesque.
Yeah. I'll also take one without the tripod, but I'll take one from what we actually see right now.
While you take the photo, I'm going to continue reading.
Okay.
Within the last couple of months, I landed a job I was really excited to get. Conference coordinator for a large pharmaceutical company. That sounds like a red flag. Pharmaceutical companies. I don't know about that. This also happened to be the third time I had worked for this particular pharmaceutical company after working for them from 2005 to 2015 and 2017 to 2019. I was really happy about the position, the pay, and working for the company again. Sadly, the position turned out to be an incredibly bad beat. The person I was supposed to be job sharing with did not like sharing a damn thing with me. In addition, during my first week on the job, the person who was ostensibly my supervisor shared with me that the person I was job sharing with has had issues working with others in the past. Gee, it sounds like they're the problem. I was trying...
Sound familiar?
Oh boy. Ooh.
Keep it going.
You planned this brilliantly.
I honestly found all of these within like 45 minutes.
I can believe it.
And just went down a rabbit hole, and it gets more perfect and more perfect to my scenario, which is crazy. Sorry, continue. My bad.
I was trying my best to do the job I was hired for, even though the person kept giving me lackluster reviews to my supervisor. Things like, I don't think he's getting the hang of things. That was during my second week there. Sounds familiar. Oh, Jesus, shit.
What'd you do?
I accidentally clicked away from it, and I don't know how I did it, but I'm back. I found it.
Oh, okay. Carry on.
Okay. Things like, I don't think he's getting the hang of things during my second week there. The coworker would often have loud, boisterous chats with the person sitting next to her while completely leaving me out of the conversation. Thought it was in my best interest to alert my supervisors of the issues I was having with my coworker. Sadly, my constant calls asking them to help me with the coworker seems to have gotten annoying, because after working there barely 2 months, and a 24-hour-a-week part-time position at that, I was placed on a verbal PIP, process improvement plan. I barely touched the mouse and it like clicked away. What is wrong with your computer?
Nothing. What are you doing to it?
Nothing. I just like barely grazed the mouse pad.
Well, don't barely. You have to touch it correctly. It's not a map.
I don't know how to touch it correctly, apparently.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was supposed to have 2 weeks to get my shit together. I only managed to get through 1 week before I was told that things weren't working out and was being let go effective immediately. As you can imagine, this didn't sit well with me. I contacted everyone I possibly could at the staffing agency that put me in that position, telling them about the hostile work environment that this person created for me. I also contacted the pharmaceutical company's hotline to let them know that this I think it's because you're holding your hand so close to the mouse pad.
Because I need to keep scrolling constantly.
Well, you're also balancing it.
What am I supposed to do? I don't know. But we'll see if this works.
Okay, there you go. Just don't fucking touch it. How about that?
So I contacted everyone I possibly could at the staffing agency that put me in that position, telling them about the hostile work environment that this person created for me. I also contacted the pharmaceutical company's hotline to let them know that this person was in violation of their, don't want to say what they were in violation of, but it's something along the line of their company's mission statement. Something the company supposedly takes very seriously, because they strive to be a quote-unquote ethical pharmaceutical company. Everything I said about the coworker fell on deaf ears. That was a pretty hard blow to me. I understand that if it comes down to the person that has been doing their job for years versus the person who just came on board, they're going to pick the person with tenure. But as I mentioned before, the person who had the longer tenure was known to have a hard time working with certain people. Why would they put someone in a position where they were being set up to fail? To make matters worse, and the reason why I'm writing this to vent, I was searching online for other conference coordinator positions. Even though this particular opportunity didn't work out for me, I really liked the job itself and was hoping to have another chance elsewhere. And I came across the same damn position from the same damn staffing agency. It really makes me feel bad. I know I should have thicker skin, but this one really hurts. I kind of want to curl up in a ball under my desk and never apply for anything anymore because what the fuck does it matter? Anyways, that's it. I'm not looking for advice. I don't even know what advice I could be given at this point. I guess just looking for fellow people who have had great opportunities slip through their fingers to commiserate with. Okay, I just have to point out, OP is like kicking themselves for being upset that this company is like looking for people again, but it's like it's the company's damn fault. The only thing that you should be upset about is that some other poor schmuck is gonna be like suckered in that same old thing and just repeat the cycle.
Right. I also think, and this is something that my mom told me recently regarding my work scenario that I'll state at the end. She was like, you can't beat yourself up for them not giving you the tools to succeed. They're not giving you, they're not setting you up for success. They're setting you up for failure. And I think that's exactly what they're going through. It sounds like, I had a very similar experience where I was put with someone who didn't know how to train, didn't communicate, didn't work well with others.
Barely tried.
Yeah, right. So, I think it's important to note that if you are noticing that you're not being supported as a new employee to advocate for yourself, but also if you're not being supported when you are advocating for yourself, then it's probably just them, and I wouldn't beat yourself up too bad about it, but I would get out for sure.
I'm hoping that after going through a handful of decent people, this company will realize that the problem is not the new people. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's
Too
yeah.
little, too late, but hopefully they eventually realize what the fuck is wrong with these people.
Yeah. I think also to note that all jobs suck. All of them suck. It's just some people tolerate different levels, different things in jobs. So where one job might suck extremely for somebody else and they can't do it, somebody else that it might be fine and tolerable for them.
I want to rephrase that a little bit because I wouldn't consider either of my jobs to suck. I
But
would
for
say that
someone who doesn't
there's
like that, then maybe.
there are elements of everything in life, including jobs, that can suck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am very happy at both jobs, but I do have certain gripes with both of them, like
Mm-hmm.
one not giving me enough hours, and then certain interpersonal communication issues,
Right.
and the other, I have certain gripes with like the people themselves, but ultimately it's like minimal suckage.
Right. Where for someone, those might be big things. Someone
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
So it just depends on your, like, not every person is going to thrive in every job or every type of job or every company.
You just
So,
gotta find the most minimal suckage.
right, just like dating. Everybody sucks.
Mhm.
Everybody sucks.
They're weird little quirks. You just gotta find someone whose quirks you think are adorable.
Right, exactly. So keep that with every story, keep that in the back of your mind, like, as well. What?
No, I was just giggling to myself because I'm like, I don't know how John puts up with me. He'll just be like,
Kinda. I don't know.
I'll talk about like a weird little quirk of mine that I think is annoying. He'll be like, cute. And I'm like,
You two are like a match made in heaven, though. You're like fucking twins.
not really, but we balance each other out so well.
Yeah,
Because like the things that I lack, he's better at, and then the things that he lacks, I'm better at.
which is great.
Like
That's how it should
I'm the
be.
anxious one, and he has too little of a sense of self-preservation.
He's a
But
golden
together we're
retriever.
responsible. No, literally, we're like you know how cheetahs at the zoo sometimes they'll put them in with like dogs
Yeah,
so that they won't be as nervous and they won't have as much anxiety. I'm
you're
like
the
cheetahs.
cheetah. Yeah,
I've told
exactly.
him this multiple times.
Moving on. Okay, but yes, everybody sucks. Every job sucks. Find one that sucks less for you. All right, so this one is r/anti-work. Stuck, stuck, stuck.
Mm.
Clearly, I feel so stuck at my new job. It's been close to 5 months and things were going well to start, I thought. It's a cabinet shop placed underneath his family home. I don't know who his is. Oh, I am his first employee ever. He was on his own for well past 8 years. This is my
Mm.
first cabinet shop job. I was hired because I have experience in teaching woodworking, fine woodworking more so, and I know my way around a shop since I have my own and also had one at the woodworking retail store that I worked at for a few years. I was recommended to him by one of my coworkers there. I had to heavily negotiate just to get a somewhat fair starting wage, but he was a nice guy and I really wanted this opportunity since I plan to open my own business soon. Not cabinets, though. I knew it was a risk from the start, so I'm not entirely surprised that it may not work out. Are you okay?
Yeah,
Oh,
I was just double checking the time.
oh. I've learned a ton in the short time and obviously made some mistakes. He said he wanted an apprentice. I have no experience in cabinets, as I told him. He wanted someone honest he could trust around his family and that knew how to use tools, but that he could mold from the start to do things his way because he is very specific.
Mm.
I said, fine, let's do it. Months later, I've had to remind him sometimes several times to do my payroll every other week, except one time, my first paycheck, or else he will completely forget and I get it late. I accepted that this is how it is. He won't pay me for travel time back from the job site to his shop, which is legally mandatory in New York State. Oh, welcome to New York shit. Um, and he says that the fact he pays me for a morning ride from his shop to do an install is bonus pay. Constantly saying that no other shop would do this or that. Granted, he has paid me for days that he's had to take off and I would normally be scheduled. He is going on vacation for 4 to 5 days soon and will pay me for that as well since I cannot be there without him. These things have made it difficult to stand up for myself when I need to. However, they are his choices and I feel like I should be compensated properly regardless. He is frustrated that I have not reached what he feels is the level of learning I should be at by now, which I would say you could compare to a full blown journeyman in his 5th year or higher. I feel I have learned insanely fast for never having done this before, and yes, I make mistakes, but nothing crazier than what I've seen him screw up. He is annoyed that I ask questions, albeit frequently, but nowhere near as many as I did to start. He is so specific about how he wants things done that when I do decide to take charge and make the decision on my own, he says I should, well, guess what? It's done the wrong way somehow.
Okay, I want to blow my nose first.
Can we please keep this in?
Why?
At least the audio.
I'm sorry. Should I blow my nose directly into the microphone?
No. I'm sure they can hear it loud and clear. Even Lily's watching you. Hi, Bean. Oh, Swoopy.
Sorry that I have the sinuses of an inbred pug.
Okay. Back to it. I wanted to label some styles and rails that were out of the norm configurations, and he said that he felt I was an employee that wouldn't do what she's told, and I always do what I'm told unless it's unsafe, like gripping a piece of wood that's wider than it is long on the table saw. I don't know if I'm being a baby, but I really don't think I am. The amount of builds and installs that get done now must be well over double since he's taken me on, but it doesn't seem to matter to him that much. I'm still not moving fast enough. When I rush, I fuck things up. That's how I am. Should I stay and suck it up? Or should I go elsewhere and keep saving to start my business? We are not communicating properly and it's become a problem. I still haven't received my login for ADP. That's concerning. The contract I requested to begin with, and well, I could keep going. I've asked repeatedly. I bring my own tools, and even when I don't have to. I mean, it's just downright frustrating. Anyway, that's my silly work rant.
What do you think you should get a lawyer?
Yes. That is one thing about working with private, like mom and pop shop employers, because
They think they're above the law because they make the rules of the workplace.
no, not really. I think it's more of they're good at something, like, hey, I'm good at making cabinets, so I'll start my own business. And they have no idea how to do HR, no idea how to do payroll, no idea how to do taxes, no idea how to do all the actual business stuff. So that's what makes it harder for people in said scenarios, because they're like, oh, well, I need this. And they're like, well, I don't know how to do it. Stop asking me or whatever. So, I also agree. Sorry, go ahead.
Finish your thought and then I'll go.
I was gonna say I agree with this person. I think you should, keep saving for your own. Oh, I can't talk today. For your own business. I was doing so good reading it.
It's the silly tea.
um, keep saving for your own business, but also like I guess if you really don't want to be there, then just like take your stuff and go. And then I would also, like she said, contact maybe like a civil lawyer, civil court suit or something like that to try to get any back pay that is owed to you, for sure. But go ahead.
My first thought would be obviously communication is not good or existent at all.
Mhm.
My my first step would probably be to just sit this guy down and be like dead straight honest with him, like, listen, it's very clear that you don't know all of the laws concerning having an employee, and it's very clear that you're new to this. And like, I'm willing to be patient with you, but please, like, do what's expected of you as my boss, because it's very important that I have all my rights as your employee so that I can be the best employee that I can. And listen, I am doing the best that I can. I don't want to fuck things up and rush things. So I'm doing this at the pace that I'm comfortable doing it at in order to do a good job and not do a shitty job. And just my first go to would be to just iron out all those things in the clearest way possible. And if that doesn't go well, then bye bye.
Yeah, I would say also that's a good idea too.
This also reminds me of this is more of a John story, but a relative of his has a business, and when he was like just before he was old enough to get his working papers, he was working with him for a little bit, and he was definitely taken advantage of.
That sucks. Yeah, that happens more often than not. So, PSA, be careful if you're gonna go work for a mom and pop. Expect things like this to happen, I guess, unfortunately, but I think the running theme is gonna be to advocate for yourself and communicate.
We just had the dump footage, and Alyssa was searching for the word eject, but she told it to
funny.
ejaculate. Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
I did.
Sure.
Hey, same thing. Same fucking thing.
Different. Different.
Not that much. If you think about eject,
Well, when one ejaculates, they do eject semen.
yeah. See? Shut up and read. See, we are so
There's
funny.
something in the tea.
We are, well, I'm naturally like this, so.
Have you ever known me to take anything seriously ever?
I know. Alright, keep reading. Don't worry, I'll leave that in.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
A guy twice my age is actively targeting me and my fellow women at the job. And I've been told by higher-ups that if I or anyone else complain about him, we'll all be fired and I can't find another place to work that pays
Girl.
as well as this job.
Flaw
That's the
it.
sentence I already read.
Okay, yeah, well. We need to be able to understand it. Not just blah, 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 blah. Alright, proceed.
He's been hiding my chair. That is ridiculous. Tore down something I drew on my downtime that another person put up for me. He's been putting up little notes mocking me, example being I vented to my mom about some of his bullshit, and she happens to work for the same place in a different department, and acted on my behalf because she knows the place inside and out. The other day he put up a note saying, "I'll tell my mommy," to mock the said situation, and even going to the schedule our other supervisor makes for us, and scratches my name out, causing another coworker to go to our supervisor asking if I had quit. He's also been stealing from our job and stalking the other women of my job, going as far as to follow one of them home on multiple occasions. And he also has a journal that he's been writing in about us. One of the fellow female coworkers saw he was writing about her, and another male coworker found that the creep wrote about the other's coworker he followed home, who happened to be that male coworker's sister. I'm very close to breaking the rules and bringing a pocket knife to work because I don't feel safe anymore, but I can't afford to lose this job. Get a fucking lawyer. Lawyer up. That is like so many different levels of illegal and immoral.
Yes. I saved this one because I can understand how scary it is being a woman and going to work and not knowing if something is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely terrifying, and that's not something that you should have to feel going into work or anywhere, really.
That is such an extreme situation, and that is horrifying.
Mm-hmm. There was, quick story, I was working at Budway's back in the day at the deli, and I would work the closing shift, so we'd get done at 9 o'clock at night, and I think the store is open till 10, but like the deli closed at 9, and then on Sundays the whole store closed at 9. So there was one day, it was like in the winter time or something, where the and there was like a lot of like high school kids that would work the front registers and stuff like that, or like college kids like my age. And they would, obviously this is like yoga pant era. So like I wore yoga pants. Most of the girls wore leggings or yoga pants or sweatpants or something. Not many of them wore jeans. It was usually like, you have your work shirt up top and then like black or khaki pants.
That reminds me of something, but I don't want to derail that.
Mhm. So, I remember walking out one night and one of the girls was talking to the night manager and was like, "Can someone walk me to my car? This guy keeps coming up to the store at the end of my shift and talking to me as I'm walking to my car, and I don't feel safe." And I just thought about that and I'm like, dang, like I can't imagine what it's like not being able to leave your workplace because they know where you work, they know what you look like, they know what car you drive. If they follow you home, they know where you live, they know everything about you. That's so scary. Sorry, go ahead.
If they try to follow me home, they'll be wearing my fucking tire tracks, I'll tell you that. But,
Yeah.
no, that Just on a lighter note, the fact that the whole leggings thing was a moment. It's really funny to me because I can't help but think back of when I was a kid. Now, I was the sort of child who any milestone I had to be basically pushed into because I would not want to get to it. And I remember I had like little like we would call them stretchy pants,
My
which
mom
were
just said that
basically
the
like
other day.
leggings, yeah. And
Call them stretchy
I did
pants.
not want to wear jeans, and my mom and dad were like, "Please wear big girl pants. Like you're not a toddler anymore." And I was so stubborn about my stretchy pants when I was really little, and I know they'll remember that. And I'm just like, well, didn't they know that like a decade later there would be like stretchy pants would be a thing? I just think
Fashion recycles. But
side
yeah.
note, leggings are adorable with dresses, and it's one of my favorite looks. And like fall and winter.
I don't personally like them.
Oh, you also don't wear dresses very much.
I have worn the dress legging combo
When?
in another time. In another time. When
Another
all
era that I was
fashion
not a part of.
in an era where all fashion choices were very questionable. How about that? But it was
Horrible though.
the brown leggings that went up to your calf with the lace at the bottom, and then you had ballet flats, and then you had this like weird American Eagle shirt dress thing with a cardigan. That was the look.
Aside from the cardigan, that sounds really cute. Do you have pictures?
What? Maybe in the dark depths of hell of Facebook. Maybe.
Sorry.
That's a time for a different day. Or a day for different, whatever the fuck it is. But, yeah. Leggings to work. I understand why employers don't want that for that specific reason, because old men customers are fucking creeps. Don't be like that, old men, if you're watching.
I don't wear any leggings that are translucent, but also I'm also very self-conscious about my stomach, so I normally wear stuff that at least covers that.
No, they're looking at your ass.
But I know, but if someone starts looking at my ass, they can fucking eat my fist. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Well,
gonna sound tough, but that was just the fucking dorkiest shit that ever came out of my mouth.
eat my fist.
Anyway, I'll fucking
I
talk
thought
to you.
I thought
Eat my ass?
you were gonna say eat my farts.
No.
Like eat my dust, like you're just farting as you're running away.
Eat my crop dust. That has to be the title of this episode. Please.
No.
Please. Please.
Then they're gonna get halfway
Eat my
through.
crop dust. Subtitle. Nightmare stories from work.
Jesus Christ. How? Okay, apologies, viewers.
I'm restarting.
Don't know how this went from super heavy in the beginning to now we're laughing our asses off.
You're the one that's losing it. Normally it's me that's like crying.
Because I was up at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and scrolling through lesbian videos for 2 hours.
Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged.
So about that, I'm like, this sounds like a fun morning. I'm just like waking up and just scrolling through videos for an hour. Living the dream.
I mean, I'd prefer to have a human in my bed at that point, but you know, the twat throb is pretty ridiculous.
Situation, you know, it's like just easing into your day. I love that.
Sure. Okay. If you say so. I didn't think so, but okay. Moving on, back to work shit. All right. R/anti-work.
Are you still thinking about it?
Yes. Fucking great. You know how much fucking blue balls I had this morning, Heather? Yeah! That's why I'm disappointed. Alright, we're cutting that.
So I'm never giving myself blue ball.
Yeah, when you give it to yourself on purpose, it's kind of not a vibe.
I just get like yearning more so than anything else. So I've never gotten like blue ball.
That's why I call it the twat throb.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're cutting that little part.
Aww.
Moving on. R/anti-work. Today is the day. This is event, but any advice about working on the DOL? I don't know what that means. On something like this is welcome.
Can I see?
It says DOL. Oh, working.
Department of Labor. Okay.
Gotcha. Sorry. Department of Labor on something like this is welcome. State is Ohio. Don't you break my couch.
I was sinking into it.
I'm finally going to report my employer to the Department of Labor. Woohoo!
Good.
I help with the payroll and we use their own made up rounding rule that is nothing remotely close to the 7/8 rule and frequently fucks over the employees. This is on top of making new employees sign unenforceable documents that if they don't work a minimum of 6 months, they will have $275 deducted from their pay to pay for required pre-employment drug testing. They've charged back probably 10 employees in the last year alone. Today was finally the straw that broke the camel's back. I've been trying to find another job, but this is the worst time of year to look, and I was really trying to wait until I was able to have a get out plan. But at this point, I think I'm going to enjoy the front row seat. If the place catches on fire, I wouldn't even piss on it to put it out. Let it burn.
Beautiful.
Yes. Short and sweet.
Good.
Short
Good for
and
them.
sweet.
They're doing right.
Okay. So I have to read this next one because I have experience in customer service.
Okay.
So, this one's kind of a long one. How much time do we have left?
We got 6 minutes.
Okay, cool. All right. So, for those of you who don't know, I used to work in a call center, and majority of my work background has been in the customer service realm, whether in person, in any way, shape, or form.
Meanwhile, I turn into a trembling chihuahua if a customer even looks at me.
Oh yeah, and I've been motherfucked and hit on in a phone call, in the same phone call. Okay.
Phone call. That is.
Yeah, some old guy.
Horrible kind of person to stoop to that level.
Yeah. So I'll give a treat to the audio listeners at the end with my customer service voice. But this one says, customer service has completely drained me. Customer service, I'm going to abbreviate to CS, has actually ruined me in the worst possible ways. I used to have so much patience with strangers and wasn't quick to annoy. Now I'm constantly irritable and angry. I work in food and am constantly multitasking. I have to take orders, make the orders, run to the kitchen, grab the food and the orders, and I still have to prep and stock things constantly. It doesn't sound like much, but it becomes a lot when I'm frequently scheduled alone.
Ooh.
How can I possibly ever give good service and do things in a timely manner when I'm running around doing the job that 2 people minimum should be doing? My manager doesn't understand why I complain about working by myself when he says he helps, but he only helps so much. Only when the orders and influx in customers become actually impossible to handle on my own. Most of the time, I'm being stretched thin and expected to do so much work for so little pay. And they claim that at least I get tips, but I would rather never get a single tip again than have to run the place myself. Not only that, but customers are my biggest issue. Incredibly demanding and entitled, expect food to be ready in 5 minutes even though food is made to order. People can't wait 10 minutes before they become antsy and bother me about the wait time, and then get upset when I don't have time to fake interest in conversation. They get upset over things I can't control and take it out on me. They get upset if I'm not smiling throughout the entire interaction. They get upset if I don't give them discounts like my other coworkers. I can't connect and give my best service when I'm stressed and have a million other things to do than hear about someone's day. When it's slow or I'm scheduled with another person, I'm more personable and feel like I'm truly able to give better service. I don't like feeling upset, and I actually like attending and making customers feel good, but most of the time I can only be cordial to try to get them out as fast as I can. I'm only ranting because of a review that claimed they waited for an hour for 4 items, even though it wasn't busy, an exaggeration of great proportions. I'm not entirely sure who it was about, but it still frustrates me that we are expected to be fucking perfect robots. I miss the person I used to be and the person I want to be. Going to ask to be scheduled less because my mental health and self worth is slowly plummeting. Work sucks.
You will get that person back once you get out of that job.
Mm-hmm. I have worked in food service, in the back line, so I wasn't tending to customers, but I did work at a deli where I was customer facing and at a storage facility where I was customer facing. However, I would say, how much time do we have left?
3 minutes.
Okay. Um, when I worked in the call center was when I realized that like my work was actually affecting my personal relationships, where I would work 4 days a week, 10-hour shifts, back to back to back to back to back phone calls. In Yeah, they really weren't that bad because you like every 2 hours you get a 15-minute break
Okay,
or a
actually,
10-minute break.
I'm an idiot for getting confused because I've literally done 12-hour like production days,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes 14-hour. When you work in production, 10 hours is like, oh, you're doing a light day today.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the call center was where it really hit me when I would be so drained from talking that my significant other at the time, we were long distance, and I'd get done with my shift and I wouldn't want to talk on the phone. And he's like, "Why don't you want to talk to me?" And I'm like, "I can text. My mouth hurts from fucking talking. Like, I just don't want to use my mouth right now because it just,
Straight.
right, especially on a busy day and like dealing with, I wasn't in the sales department. I was in the customer complaint department pretty much. So I'm dealing with people screaming at me, motherfucking me, hanging up on me, asking to speak to whoever's in charge, you know, that kind of thing. Very high stress. So at the end of 10 hours, let's say I worked 4 days in a row, I don't want to do a goddamn thing. And that's when I was like, I should probably get out of here because it's not good for my mental health. So
I couldn't even do one day of that. Like,
I
I do not have the strength for that.
didn't think I'd be able to, but I lasted about a year and a half.
I couldn't even look average people in the eye and just be like, "Hi, how are you doing? Can I help you today?"
Yeah, sometimes it takes me a bit to warm up. Like once I get used to it, it's fine. But in the beginning, it's a little rusty. All right, y'all. We are going into workplace harassment. Yes. Okay. So.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Literally, the first message that is being sent to this person who took the screenshot says, "You're kind of a bitch, though, for that."
Yeah. So read the
Yeah,
screens
I'm
first.
gonna read out the conversation. So you're kind of a bitch for that. Excuse me, you need help, bro. Nah, you need help seriously. Like I was checking in on you after we hung. Hung? What?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Clicking to see the full thing.
Oh.
Jeez, like itty bitty. Couldn't get a fucking text to let me know you're okay. And also, you say you want to be friends, but now we're not, and you remove me on all social media. No, you're childish AF. You need help. Shouldn't have hugged me after we hugged, then either. If that. Ugh. Shouldn't have hugged me after we hung. Is this person trying to say hung out? Like, people don't just
Probably.
say hung. If I made you that uncomfortable.
Continue.
So, this is just a classic example of, like, r/nice guy that just will not stop texting.
You know, you can just go like this. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Just
okay,
go
here,
up,
okay.
down, up, down.
Oh.
You don't have to hold it.
With 2 fingers?
Yeah, with 2
Oh.
fingers.
Oh.
It's probably the gayest shit ever.
I was
Sorry,
gonna
guys.
make a lesbian joke, but then I couldn't think of one.
It's a joke in and of itself, pretty much. But continue.
Hi, everyone needs some advice. This guy asked me out at work and I rejected him. We went for coffee after training. He was a weirdo. I told him I thought it was inappropriate to date coworkers, and we did not click. His ego just couldn't take the bruising, so he's been harassing me ever since. 4 different instances, 3 via social media and once in person. He's unhinged and gives me a bad feeling. First 3 times were through social media, but once it happened in person, I reported to HR. I would have reported it all 4 times. I'm a residential DSP, I don't know what that means, and he's a maintenance worker. Many days when I walk out to my car, he'll come around the corner in a landscaping utility vehicle, and we'll ride around in a circle in the parking lot, just leering at me. There's no reason for him to do that. One day he was doing this, and I shook my head at him with an angry look on my face. As he goes to drive down the hill, I hear him yell, "Fuck you, bitch." So I sped walked to HR and had a meeting. I showed him all of the I showed him all of the messages, explained what had just happened, etc. 2 weeks later, and nothing has been done. This pathetic little boy got his job because his daddy is head of maintenance department, and I feel like this has something to do with it. I requested another meeting in person tomorrow morning. Is there anything I should keep in mind? I read the employee handbook and it says that harassment will not be tolerated in any way and the consequences are severe.
Mm-hmm.
His conduct is considered intimidating and hostile. This is not an isolated incident. There was name-calling and offensive put-downs both on and off the premises.
Mm-hmm.
I acted promptly, have evidence, and reported my concerns. So what the fuck is going on? Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I have another story.
Tell your story. No, that was just so emotionally draining.
So when I was at the deli, I was a young, spry 20-year-old, with seemingly a decent sized buttocks because I was running at the time, who also wore yoga pants to work every day. So there was this one kid in the meat department, which is like, so there was the deli, okay, so bakery, deli, cafe, meat department. So they like, in the back, it was all connected. So if you go in the one like little door, you could walk behind all of those departments. And there's like a break room and shit upstairs and whatever. So he would always come over and like grab something out the deli cooler or whatever, quality control, taste testing. We would all do the same thing. Like if the bakery had like leftover donuts, they'd bring them over for us or vice versa, whatever. Like, hey, try this new ham or new turkey, whatever. Fine. So he would always come over, and my night shift manager, he was really close with her because they've worked there for forever. And he was, I think, like 4 years older than me, which I was of age at the time. I was like 20, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But he would always come over and like try to talk to me. And I was like polite and nice, but I wasn't interested in dating him. And the one day had just came back from break and I was facing, so the sink was on the back wall of the deli. So I'm facing the wall and the customers are behind me, right? And I am washing my hands to come back on the clock and I hear one of my customers say like, "Oh, those are so beautiful." And I turn around and he's standing like right next to me with a bouquet of red roses for Valentine's Day and a card. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do right now? Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. And I genuinely didn't think that they were for me. And so I forgot what I said. It was so long ago, but I probably said something like, "Oh, who are those for?" And he was like, "You." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. They're beautiful." And then the card was like super lovey-dovey romancy, like one that a husband would get his wife. And I'm like, shit. So then,
I've decided to not be a secret anymore.
right. But then he was like, oh, are you going to post it on Facebook? And I'm like,
Whoa.
now I feel obligated to. So I think I posted a picture and I was like, oh, thank you to, this person for bringing me these beautiful flowers. And that was it. And I just kept it nice and sweet like that. And then, like, I left it up for a week and then I fucking deleted it. But I was like, this is so embarrassing. Like, I don't want to say no, I don't accept these because I have to accept those.
Yeah,
But
put on the spot, basically.
right. And my night manager knew that I wasn't interested in him, and she didn't know that he was going to do that. So like, and he kept pestering me and pestering me and pestering me. He was the kind of guy that would be like, "Hey," 2 days later, "Hey," 2 days later, "Hey, how you doing? What's going on? What are you up to?" Blah 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 blah. Like pretty much talking to himself in my inbox, and I'm not responding. So like he's the one that is like, oh, I'm such a nice guy, like you're rejecting me, like what the hell, like that kind of thing. And it was very scary because I was like, if I reject this kid and it doesn't go well, what's gonna happen? You know?
Yeah. That is so uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Do you have to restart?
We have a little more, we got about a minute and a half. Also, the tea with chamomile is chamomile the stuff that makes you sleepy?
A little bit. Are you sleepy? You want some coffee now? I think we dodged down a little bit.
I don't need to fuck myself up even more than I already am. I'm just gonna restart.
But I can. This one's kind of lengthy. Okay. All right, so this one is pretty lengthy. It's on r/jobs. Workplace harassment from manager. Don't you start that shit.
I didn't do it consciously. I just did it.
BRB. All right, I'm well hydrated. Workplace harassment from manager reaching unbearable levels. Another panic attack today because of it. What can I do? Had to create a throwaway account for this because you never know. My manager, let's call him Bill, has already snooped on my Facebook and disagreed with what I had for my job title. I had put exactly what I was told during the interview 2 years prior to what the position was called.
Wow.
And his reaction was to berate me and treated me horribly for weeks.
Whoa.
I've been working for 2 years now in a two-person department at a mid-sized company in California. I'm just turning 30 and have never had a worse boss in my life. He regularly takes out his personal issues on me. He insults me in personal ways. He has lectured me for hours, literally, on what he perceives to be my faults and lets me in on cruel things people have said about me, which may or may not be true. A couple months back, I had a major crisis. My car was stolen and I ended up taking 3 days off of work, spending all that time walking and riding the bus to the DMV, the police station, my insurance company, the bank, etc. In my town, you need a car. It's so spread out, so I had to deal with all the junk involving getting a car stolen, as well as prepare and try to get a new one. Anyway, the day I got back, he tells me how badly I screwed him over, that I'm going to get laid off, and that he is no longer ever going to be friendly to me. That because of me, he couldn't be with his grandfather when he died. I found out that that was a blatant lie. Nobody died. And that I was a shitty worker because he finished all the work I had been taking so long to do, and he did it while running the place by himself. Also a lie. I saw he just hid the stack of papers on his bookshelf.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I finished it.
Oh my god.
But here's a list of the more severe occurrences and their bullet points.
There's more severe stuff in that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh god.
You're gonna be like, oh, I see why you picked this one. He casually tells me that he's going to fire me or I'm going to get laid off, as in to make sure to lock this door or I will fire you. Someone told him that I said something negative behind his back and he threatened to fire my ass. He has called me stupid, ignorant, and one time called me the F slur.
Whoa.
Yep. In front of about 6 other people, including the GM, general manager, he said that my e-cigarette, I had just quit smoking and was vaping, looks like a dildo. He inferred that I looked like I enjoyed sucking on it. He has
Jesus
told me to
Christ.
alter my time card so that overtime hasn't shown up. Occasional periods of 15 or 30 minutes, an hour once. That's it, not whole days or anything. I used to chew tobacco at work, which I would spit into a Gatorade bottle and put out of view. Gross, I know. At my work, everyone chews and they spit on the ground outside and in the trash cans. One time, Bill wanted some paper to pack a box with, so he started digging through a trash can, got some liquid on his hands, and was outraged. And I went through this tirade about how anyone who chewed was idiotic and shouldn't be allowed to breed. Something is fucking wrong with them. I don't know, maybe they are just too stupid and need to go
Breathe
to
or
college.
breathe?
Breed.
Ew.
Yeah.
Who even uses that word? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Not farm animals.
He says all this to me knowing I have chew in my mouth and no, I didn't say maybe it's ignorant to dig through trash and be mad if you get dirty, but you can be sure as hell I was thinking it.
They should have just spit that chew right back in his face.
Yeah, or in his hand.
That would be really, really good comedic timing.
He does trivial shit like this. He does trivial shit like does not allow me to listen to music or talk radio while I'm doing boring mundane work because it will distract me, but he blares music on his computer that he is well aware I strongly dislike. Bad pop country music.
Mm.
There is so much more. I try to write it down, but I don't have it all written. It's just the most hostile work environment I've ever been in, and it's blaringly obvious that this guy has a personal distaste for me and is not professional enough to put a lid on it. Other coworkers notice it and comment on it and ask me how I put up with it, but they are friends with him, so I don't know how many people would corroborate my case if I decided to make a big deal. Our HR department isn't really involved with stuff like this.
They should be. That's their whole fucking job.
Isn't really involved with stuff like this like it would be at a big corporation, and they're in another office across town anyway. I've tried talking with him after the 3 days off. I called him and said, Bill, I want us to be a team and not at odds. Let me buy you a beer after work and we can try to find a way to get along better. He ignored the call, and when I mentioned it the next day, that's when he told me that he would no longer act in a friendly manner towards me. He badmouths me to the general manager. They're great buddies, which is how Bill is able to spend all day at his desk doing his personal stuff, paying his bills, getting solar panels on his house, working on putting a pool in, talking with his wife, while I do the majority of the work. He swore to me that he was doing all he could to get me a raise a while back, but I'm sure that as soon as my back is turned, he just talks major shit about me. I know that he does. One incident stands out. I'm friends with a girl who works there. Bill is desperately trying to get in her pants and spends hours at a time in her office, which she told me she hates and makes her uncomfortable. Anyway, one day I was late. I was up all night with a migraine and should have called in, but instead I took a sleeping pill so I could work the next day and overslept. I called in 20 minutes late and said, I'm very sorry. This is what happened. I can be there in 5 minutes. I know I messed up. He suspended me for 3 days. Then he went into her office and bragged about how he got me good and what a loser I was and what a badass he is. At this point,
Ew.
at this point in telling me this, the girl, my friend, is shaking her head and saying he doesn't know what women wait. And saying, doesn't he know that women don't respond to guys beating their chests like that? Yes, girl, yes.
That is
Yes.
sincerely, that is very true.
Very accurate.
It just makes you look like a massive tool.
Facts. Wow, I know I'm just rambling on, but recounting all this is upsetting me even more. Me too. I don't know what I can do. What constitutes harassment in my state? If I need witnesses, etc., what can I do? If anyone answers, please take into account that I've considered the obvious. 1. I've tried to make peace with him. That didn't work. 2. It is too slow right now for me to transfer to another department. 3. Telling the GM will not do any good. I'm almost positive. Bill has been there 10 years and I've been there too. Bill and the GM are buddies. Me and the GM are not. All that will happen is Bill will find out I went over his head and he'll make my life a living hell in a different way. 4. I can't quit. I'm trying to find another job. It's tough right now. People say things like go to the labor board. Who is the labor board? Where are they? I've asked people's advice and I get a lot of canned responses that are no help at all. I've gone through a year of trying to make this situation better by working harder, by being very polite while even being yelled at. It's affecting my sanity, and I hope to Christ someone has a similar problem and can give me some proactive advice. Sorry for rambling in the lengthy post, and thanks for reading if you even got this far. If anyone has some actual wisdom to impart, please do so. Quit your fucking job.
Yeah,
Quit it.
back. Just be like, why do you fucking hate me so much, you absolute cowardly bitch? Like, oh, you keep threatening to fire me? If you really wanted to fire me, you'd fucking fired me ages ago.
You don't need to sit there and deal with this shit. This
You
is
really shouldn't.
unfucking called for.
Every
Uncalled
single one
for.
of those instances would have been a last straw. Should have been.
Absolutely. Okay, so as I was saying, this post was 9 years ago. I don't know how I found it. Apparently, I was in the deep dark depths of Reddit hell. So, I really hope this person got out. If anyone has a scenario similar to this, just leave. I really don't care. Just leave.
Check the OP's profile, see if they
It's a
have any more posts.
throwaway. Yeah, but
And they didn't update at all.
it's 9 fucking years ago. You think I know how to do that shit?
Well, maybe 8 years ago they were like, "Hey, I made this post last year." You never know.
How many comments are there? There's 35 comments. Da, 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 da.
Any responses?
No.
So this means that dude is 40 now.
I really hope he
He better have got out.
yeah. Okay. I can't find any other updates, but nobody should have to go through a workplace like this, especially being called the F slur, whether you are fruity or not.
Like,
Unacceptable.
you should be living in HR's office.
Yes. I think his point was valid that if he does go to HR, that they're just going to go back and tell, which is a very valid concern.
They were talking about the general manager. If they were to go to them, then they would tell.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
they're friends.
you're right. You're right, you're
But they
right.
didn't say that about HR. But that is a large part of why HR exists. So if you're in a situation like this, then become besties with HR department.
And I hope he had that friend, that girl, on his side. It seemed like she was
I hope they both left, honestly.
willing to help. Yeah, so if you can have at least one person on your side in the workplace, that's gold. All right, next one. I'm kind of cherry picking the ones that I want to read, so.
Oh, okay.
Because I kind of fielded them, and I'm like, ooh, I kind of want to read that one because it relates to me.
This one, the title is in all caps, and it says, "Help! I'm being harassed at work. I work in a restaurant, and I'm paid really well, £12.50 an hour plus tips, which are usually between 10 and 30 quid per shift. I'm saving a lot of money to go traveling, and I'm really happy. But I'm a young woman, and I get a lot of weird comments from the managers. He always says stuff like, 'Do you love me? Can you make me a coffee if you love me?' etc., which is quite uncomfortable because he's probably around 45. And I don't want to say yes because that's weird, but saying no is uncomfortable as well. He also once joked and asked me to lick milk off his finger. The other manager is really grumpy, but particularly grumpy to me. He often undervalues me and implies that I don't work hard enough. And last week I went to the kitchen to get something and he turned to me and shouted very loudly in my face, 'What do you want?' I've noticed that he doesn't really act like this with the others. Then there's an issue of harassment from a middle-aged man who's always hanging out, who has told me that he wants to provide for me, look after me, that I won't have to work, etc. And even after I had said I had a boyfriend, he kept insisting, and he gave me his number and his Facebook.
I think he's also gang
The fact
affiliated, which
Yeah.
scares me.
The fact that he gave her his Facebook is fucking hilarious.
Did you miss the part where she said, I think he is also gang affiliated?
Yeah, I did.
Like,
But the
Jesus.
Facebook part is funny, though.
It's like 0 to 100. Lastly, there are no young people at this restaurant, and I've just moved to the town, so it would be a big bonus meeting young people, especially during this winter. But if I move jobs, it'll mean £10.50 an hour and less tips, probably, which is quite a lot of a difference. I just need some secondary opinions. Thanks.
You don't want my opinions right now.
Give your opinions, please.
I think you should chop all their dicks off
Yes, I agree.
and run their balls through a blender, as Olivia Benson would say.
Yeah.
No hate to the male viewers. However, don't be like this. Don't do this. If you see people acting like this, tell them to cut it out. Unacceptable, uncalled for, unruly old men. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
You just because she's a young woman working in a customer area, as the click YouTuber would say, she's being paid to be nice. That's her job. That's not flirting. That's not
Mm-hmm.
being available to you. She's being nice because she's being paid to be nice to patrons. So cut your shit, keep your dick in your pants, and go pay for a sex worker if that's what you want.
Honestly, I feel like it's damn time that people should just start being creepy back to the people that are being creepy to them. Like, just give them a taste of their own medicine and see how they fucking feel. Just
Yeah.
make them the most uncomfortable they've ever been. Make their skin crawl.
I would almost go the gruesome route and be like, oh, if you want me to lick milk off your finger, can I lick it off of your actual bone instead of your skin? Like something so gruesome, off the wall, freaky, out of their realm shit. But don't get too freaky where they might call the cops on you, because that could be a problem. But like, you know, or just I don't know. I genuinely don't know as a woman, because nothing you say to men like that will matter. Nothing you say is gonna have them leave you alone.
Yeah.
Thoughts, opinions?
I'm just realizing how fortunate I've been in my life that I've not had to deal with that sort of thing.
Yeah. Honestly, there have been times where I feel like I would have to make myself ugly because I didn't want to be hit on.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Or I'd be like, oh, I'm purposely not wearing makeup because I don't want to be too pretty. Like stuff like that.
I have never had stuff like that run through my head.
Yeah. And that's not saying that I'm like the prettiest person on the planet, but it's just that like,
It's not wanting to attract extra attention to
mhm,
yourself.
right, exactly. But yeah.
You too.
Okay. So this one is from r slash actual lesbians.
Nice. What?
Nice. I picked this one because it is work related. It says, a man won't respect that I am a lesbian and keeps trying to get with me. Ugh, men are so futile. Anyways, at work, this fool keeps hitting on.
This fool.
I'm sorry, y'all. That kind of took me by surprise.
I used to call Sammy a little fool. He was a fool. Did you know that Sammy would respond to asshole?
Yes, I did know that.
Yeah, just be like, asshole, and you'd be like, huh? It's the best cat ever.
Let me
I
restart.
need to send you that video so you can put that in, by the way.
Okay. Let me restart this.
This
And action. Okay. Man won't respect that I'm a lesbian and keeps trying to get with me. Ugh, men are so futile. Anyways, at work, this fool keeps hitting on me when I told him I'm not interested and I'm lesbian. Definitely had that done before.
fool.
He keeps asking me about my sex life and if I'm actually a lesbian. It makes me super uncomfortable and only realized yesterday I should be more upfront with him. It makes me so angry when people don't respect my boundaries and try to get close to me when I obviously don't want them to. When I first told him I like girls, he said, "So you're a virgin?" As if having sex with a woman isn't enough and I'd have to have sex with a man for it to mean something. He asked to be friends and asked about my hobbies. I said I like MMA, and he responds, "You know that turns me on, right?" Pig. Do you guys have any tips on dealing with this total shit houses like him? It's my day off, and I've been thinking about this all morning, and I'm trying to forget, but I'm so angry and I just want to rip his head off, honestly. Do both.
HR.
I don't want to be bothered by men. The world would be so much safer without them, but back to reality, what should I do? I've noticed my bosses see him bothering me and they raise their eyebrow at him. I'm at fucking work and don't want to be bothered or embarrassed in front of my bosses. So I think if he doesn't back off, I'll report him. This is kind of like a rant. What should I do post? Thanks for whoever is reading this whole thing.
I just realized that my initials are HR.
They are.
I'm used to doing like all three of them. Like if I like sign
HMR.
something at work, yeah.
Mine's AZ. First and last. All right. Thoughts, opinions?
I'm so sorry you had to go through that. And Jesus Christ.
I had to blow my
That was a yell.
I had to blow my nose now.
Smashing the fourth wall.
Snapping what?
The fourth wall.
Snapping the fourth wall?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, when you break the fourth wall, it's like when, like in like a television or movie, when you're addressing the audience in something that is not supposed, like in that world, there's like not an audience there. It's like being self-aware. Like when I said to the camera, did you guys just hear that? It's like breaking the fourth wall, technically. You really don't know what breaking the fourth wall means?
Media production?
I feel like that's a very popular enough thing where most people know. Okay, audience, let's poll you guys. Have you heard of breaking the fourth wall? She's just laughing from 2 rooms over. This is a beautifully chaotic episode, and I knew it would be. Okay. Oh, she's so jumpy. She's a jumpy monkey. You smell like map. You smell like map.
Sorry, y'all. I had to sneeze. And then I had to pee. And then Heather had to
Please
pee.
leave that entire detour in.
Of me sneezing?
That and just the whole conversation afterwards.
Of the audio that's probably
Yeah.
barely audible?
Guys, do you know what a fourth wall break is? Because I thought that was pretty common.
Not everybody is media production.
But I thought that was more. Oh jeez, I'm saying that last. I thought that was more well known than, like, it's not just a media thing, you know.
I thought it was just
Fourth I think I'm gonna put a poll on Tumblr because now I'm curious.
Okay. Alright. Thoughts, opinions on that one? Prior to my sneeze?
That was the lesbian one.
Yes. Being harassed by men
I-
at work.
I think what I was gonna say before you sneezed was that not to throw you under the bus. I think I was gonna say that unfortunately it seems like that's a very, very common thing for lesbians to experience, and that is awful. Just plain awful.
Yeah, I have experienced that. If you go watch the video of Uber stories, I do explain that. So head on over and watch that one. Um, but yeah, no, I truly do wish men would, in a way, just let us be gay, let us be lesbian lovers, and just be unbothered.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Same thing with any other LGBTQ plus person.
yeah,
Just let them be themselves.
yeah. Like we're not trying to harm anybody. We just want to be ourselves and just let us thrive in our own world. Hi,
Like,
Lily.
nobody's shoving their dick into your mouth. Calm down.
I think also I know we're taking a tangent off of this. I think
As if
it's
we haven't taken 20 million tangents already in this episode.
true. But gay tangent. I feel like the way men view lesbians versus gay men is very different, where they fetishize lesbians. Like, oh, you're there for me, so I want to watch you, or you're doing this for me, and I'm getting pleasure out of it. Whereas for gay men, it's like, oh, that's disgusting, whatever, whatever.
It is very noticeably gross.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, if you're especially involved in like fandom parts of the internet, like I would say I'm kind of like a little bit into that, but not into like anything that has like a genuine fandom. But
I
like,
don't know what a fandom is.
oh,
Maybe I'm not in that dark, deep depth hell corner of the fucking internet.
I am going to send you a YouTube channel by the name of Strange Neons. It's run by a girl named Tia. She's a lesbian. Her and her girlfriend are wonderful. And she does a ton of like videos about Tumblr culture and fandom incidents. Oh my god, you would not believe some of the stuff.
Should we do a video of our favorite YouTube creators?
Maybe, but we want people to watch us.
Well, yeah, but like, I feel like they kind of give us a little bit of inspo too,
Oh, for sure.
and we could just like, because we do have a lot of similar YouTube creators.
Yeah, but also a little bit different too. But anyways,
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I
So.
think of this as more of a fandomy thing, but like I notice that some women tend to fetishize gay relationships too.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard a theory that part of why that happens could be like almost the inherent safety of like these men are, if they're gay for each other, they're not going to like come after me. Like I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to be harmed in a relationship with this. This is
Or,
there's that element of removal, which is
or,
not present in men fetishizing lesbians.
yes. However, I have also heard that straight women think of gay men as property,
Ooh,
of like the gay best friend
yeah,
instead of my best friend,
yeah.
and almost in a way like kind of use and abuse them like for fashion or whatever or stuff like that. And I'm like, that's not cool. Like, let's not do that. But I have never had a best friend who's gay, but I wouldn't knock it.
I had one and he bullied me behind my back.
Oh, I know who this one is. But I
I didn't
mean,
know he was gay for the majority of the time that I knew him, but I supported his ass.
I feel
even
like
though he bullied me behind my back.
I feel like I kind of knew he was. He was a little fruity.
Basically, everyone around him acted like he was like, and listen, he was the kind of person where like interacting with him, the gaydar would go off a little bit, but when someone tells you I'm not gay, I prefer to believe what they're saying, you know.
Mhm.
And it's more annoying to be assumed to be one thing and be kind of like pushed out of the closet.
Mhm.
And I really don't like that. It seemed like growing up they were kind of like looking at him like, okay, when's he gonna come out? But
There
like
were a
he
couple
was,
people in our
he
school that
was.
we said the same thing about. We meaning in not in a bad way, but
Right.
like a lot of people in my school were like, "Oh, we kind of have a feeling that they're gonna come out soon."
One way to defending him. He was a tool. Anyways.
But yeah, I do feel like, as we stated, lesbians do have this kind of imposed sexuality that's not
Very icky.
directly for them. It's like for men when it shouldn't be. Hi. You coming now? Hi, baby.
Hi. Oh, she just wants to see Mama. Okay.
See my baby.
She's been your little parrot.
Yeah, this is her spot.
Mm.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
This cat is massive.
You leave my cat alone.
Buddy's not a chunky boy too. You never met Buddy, but he was a big boy.
Get into
Dad used to call him Fart Knocker. I don't know why.
Is that like a fuck knock?
Just because he was just this old fat cat. I don't know. Aww. It just seemed to fit. I don't know.
Okay. Back to the pod.
Yeah.
All right. Next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna scratch your head while you do that.
Okay. This is on r/career advice. Need advice. My coworker sexually harassed me. I'm posting this for a friend who doesn't have Reddit. I, female 23, just started my first salary job 5 months ago. It is a job working in marketing for a Fortune 500 company. Yesterday evening, my city's division had a dinner meeting. At the meeting, mostly everyone drank and spent time discussing work, but also personal lives, sports, etc. Most of attendees had a night booked at a hotel so that anyone who wanted to drink would not worry about driving. As the dinner was wrapping up, myself and two other young coworkers decided we wanted to go to one more bar before going to bed. As we were arranging this plan, an older coworker, male, around 50, asked if he could join us. We said it was fine and headed to the bar. As we were walking in, my ass was slapped 2 times. I had assumed it was my young female coworker since we are pretty comfortable with each other.
I would slap back.
I
Don't you fucking touch me.
would slap her back too. We got drinks, then the four of us sat down at a table. A few minutes later, the older coworker asked me if I could chat with him at another table, and I said that was fine. The first few minutes were okay, but then he suddenly asked, "Would you want to fuck me?" I said no and got up to go back to the original table. While I did this, my older coworker went to the restroom. I immediately told my two younger coworkers what happened, and they said they watched him slap my ass 2 times on the way into the bar. I was shocked. At the same time, my older coworker was walking back to the table, so I asked my younger female to go to the restroom with me. Well, we could just throw a picture of Beans up.
Okay.
At the same time, my older coworker was walking back to the table, so I asked my younger female to go to the restroom with me. For about 10 minutes, we discussed the situation and decided the best course of action was to just leave the bar. As we were waiting for our Uber, my older coworker fell completely down out of drunkenness. My younger male coworker helped him up, and then we got into an Uber that took us back to my apartment building, which is only 1 block from the hotel the three of them were staying at. When we got out, my older coworker assumed that we would go into my apartment building and into my apartment together. We all said no, but he was being persistent. For safety, all four of us walked back to the hotel knowing that after my older coworker got to his hotel room, that I would be able to walk back to my apartment safely. I got home just after midnight and cried for about 30 minutes before going to bed. This older coworker of mine has been with my company for 15 plus years, and I've only worked there for 5 months. My direct manager is also an older male and isn't the type to understand the severity of sexual harassment in the workplace. In 5 months, I've had to complete 2 separate work harassment training modules, but I still feel as if this incident was reported to HR that my side would not be taken, even with 2 witnesses.
Why specifically?
What do you mean?
Why doesn't she think it would be taken seriously? It's number one, it's a serious offense. Number two, there's witnesses. There's
Just
no excuse for
because
that.
there's no excuse, however,
There should be zero tolerance to that.
There should be.
Like, that should be a fireable offense.
It should be. Is it always? No. Do I just let the situation go and going forward, avoid interactions with this coworker who I do not see on a daily basis? Holy fuck. Or do I report it to HR? I want to choose whichever option has a neutral impact on my job and position within the company. I want to report it but feel as if all my coworkers would hate me since my older coworker is loved by so many. If anyone has faced a similar situation and has any advice, I would be greatly appreciated. Thoughts, comments, concerns?
Disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Report that shit. And I hope the other coworkers lose respect for that one coworker, because you shouldn't have had any to begin with.
I wholeheartedly agree. There is no tolerance for that, but I do understand that it is rough. I thought I was going to yawn again. So I was like huffing. I do understand that it's difficult to feel like you're going to be taken seriously, and I'll explain after this last story why I feel the same and why we kind of picked this topic.
Yeah.
Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Hi.
She's been getting top tier A quality head rubs right here.
Oh yeah, she's absolutely loving it.
Mm-hmm.
She's in McDonald's right now.
So what?
McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Oh.
Wow, Heather. Wow. Okay, last one. Here we go. R/career advice. Need advice, sexual harassment in workplace. I filed a complaint today against 2 coworkers for harassment in the workplace. To keep it vague, one has made multiple suggestive comments about me carrying my weight well, wanting to see me in costumes, wishing I dated coworkers, etc. The other has kissed me on the cheek, told me he wanted to kiss me while at work, hugged me around my neck and told me I want to kill you, has had my bosses make multiple comments to him asking him to stay away from my desk, to which his response is, I don't care, they can fire me. He would look he would look at my phone and touch my personal belongings, even with me not present and without permission. He would park next to me at work and wait for me to leave.
That's a stalker.
Mm-hmm.
That's not just harassment, that is stalking.
Upon reporting it to HR, their solution was to send both of them home with pay while the investigation was ongoing. They told me they still expected me to show up to work. When I explained that I didn't think it was fair, they were also getting paid, even though I was required to work.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
They responded this was routine procedure and they removed them from the premises to make me feel safe and to accommodate me. Am I wrong for not wanting to be at work until it's resolved? I know they're just going to find another project for them to work on. I doubt they'll be fired. I know the men I brought the complaint against are just going to state she led me on or she never said no. I don't know. Both men are 12 plus years older than me. I'm 20.
The routine procedure thing was complete bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you had any lick of critical thinking, you would ask, why is this the routine procedure? Maybe we should break with routine because this is no punishment.
Mm-hmm.
You're just giving them paid time off.
Right.
That's a joke.
I I understand her concern because um
Do you want to get into your story now?
it kind of yeah. I want to touch on this though. Like it does feel first and foremost, a lot of these stories were about women being either harassed or feeling uncomfortable in the workplace, i.e., because her and I are both women. And I feel like men or other persons don't generally have to think about things like this as often. Um, Maybe people in the LGBTQ space, AI plus all that jazz, have to as well, but preferably men don't have to, and they are the main culprits making other people feel uncomfortable. So getting into my story, I have never in my working career, and I've been working since I was 16 and I'm going to be 28, so 11 years, 12 years.
Wow, yeah.
So it's been a hot minute. I have multiple different jobs, multiple different positions. I was in food service, I worked in a call center, I worked at retail stores, I was a property manager, I worked at a bank.
In the calls?
Yeah, I'm not counting that. That's not
Yeah.
work. That was something different. But I have multiple different jobs, usually customer facing, had a lot of experiences, a lot of different types of bosses and coworkers, and I have never once had to file a complaint with HR for anything. So, this new position that I had recently started beginning of November, um, I was super excited about. It was getting me out of a workplace where I was being forced out or pushed out, which I was very thankful for to be able to get out of there so quickly. And it seemed really great. It was salary, had a sign on bonus. It was in an industry that I wanted to grow in. They talked about lots of opportunities for growth, moving up in the company, traveling, things like that.
And they said they were literally trying to train you into a management position.
Right, exactly.
To take over the one dude's.
Right, exactly. So, me too. So, I was very excited, and during the interview process, because I wanted to get out of my previous position, I don't want to say desperate, but pretty just desperate. So I was willing to take anything to get me out of there. Everything sounded great, until I started, and I noticed the dynamic between my boss and the staff or his people, my coworkers, was something was not right and something was off. Like, they weren't very communicative. It was very quiet in the cubicles. They weren't really talking. They hardly talked to each other, let alone him. Or like even if he came around and asked a question, like they didn't really say anything. So it was very strange. I had never seen anything like that before. And I was like, I don't know if they're afraid of him. And then from what he had told me, that they don't know what they're doing, they're not good at Excel, they're, smart people, but they're just not applying themselves, they're job people. Okay, great, fine, whatever. Not everybody has to be a career person. Sometimes you just need a job for the paycheck, which is fine. And he was saying, I need someone that's going to push them a little bit and, ask the questions that I would ask. And I'm like, okay, great. Him and I think pretty similar in terms of management, and things like that. So I was like, okay, perfect. We mesh pretty well, should be a piece of cake. Until I'm my first 2 weeks, I'm sitting with someone, and I had asked someone for a map of the facility so I could know where I'm going because it's pretty big. And it took me until my second week asking 5 different people for it until I physically drew it out and handed it to someone and said, I need you to draw me the path on where the sections are because I don't know. And this is a problem. And then they actually did it. And then I had to ask someone, hey, can you print this for me? And they were like, oh, well, I'll just email it to you. And I'm like, I don't have my email set up. Can you please print it for me? 4 times before they actually did it.
Oh my god.
I was not being trained properly. The person that I was sitting with was not talking to me. He was sitting there not explaining anything. I was watching him for 3 hours punching numbers into a computer. The training was practically non existent at all.
I don't understand what wasn't clicking for those people.
Right.
It baffles me.
And the person who was training me has only been there a month longer than I was. So I'm like, that's not how you train someone new. Not even close. I don't care if that's the position that you want me in. You need to have someone there who knows how to train someone, who's been there the longest, who knows the ins and outs, and is going to be able to communicate to the other person. Mind you, all of the people in that group were very smart, educated young professionals who in my brain should have been able to communicate and train people. That's what I would have expected. But no, not at all. So, that was very disheartening, but it was also a lot of seclusion where I wasn't being talked to, I didn't feel welcomed. And it wasn't like, oh, nobody's talking to me because I'm new. It's like nobody's talking in general. Like you can hear a mouse fart. That's how quiet it was. And
Honestly, my place is kind of like that too, but I kind of like it though.
right, but if you're supposed to be communicating with people,
Yeah, that is very, very
if you're in a job where it's supposed to be a little bit noisy and you're not hearing anything, that's kind of a telltale sign. So I'm like, okay, I peeped it, kept it in the back of my brain, and I went to my boss and I'm like, hey, I'm not receiving communication from said person who's training me. Um, is there anything else that you would like me to do? And he was like, oh, well, there's a bunch of stuff that you could be doing. I don't know why you're not sitting with him. And I'm like, well, he doesn't talk to me. He doesn't show me what he's doing. So I don't know what I'm supposed to learn when I don't understand what he's doing. And I've asked him to show me, and he'll just give me some vague response. So nothing was done about that. And my boss had told me, like, oh, I want you to work on IS or Boo. Like, we'll work together on it. We'll develop training and reports and whatever. That never happened. There was no effort being placed into that. I asked him for those projects. Nothing was done. There was also a scenario where he had stated to me that people had left this position only being there for a short time due to the environment and the culture. And
Red flag.
this was before I had started. I had signed the contract, but I hadn't started in person yet. And he said, you know, they leave because of the environment and the culture. And I had HR do a study to confirm whether, like, why people had left. And they said it was that reason, not management. And then in the back of my mind, I was like, well, managers create the environment. People don't leave because of environment and culture. They leave because whoever's creating it. That's like, it's the person running the show there. It's not anything different. So, he also had stated something else, and I'm not going to put on record, which was very alarming. That was a little bit concerning. I peeped it. I noticed it as a red flag, but I was like, okay, well, let me not judge before I even started. So then, time goes by, and I'm telling my mom and my family, like, hey, I don't know about this. I'm not really sure. I'm not grasping. I don't know if I'm cut out for this. Meanwhile, it's a union facility where I'm not a union worker and I have a foreign vehicle, meaning I have to park all the way on the other side of the parking lot, and union employees already don't like me working for the company that I'm working for in the building that they're in.
Why are you automatically union by being a part of a union company?
I'm not. I wasn't.
Why not? Did you have an option?
No, because we were a contracted company working in a union building.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah. So because of that, they did not like us, first and foremost. And I did not have a branded car. I had a foreign vehicle, and I was also nervous to, you know, even lightly in conversation come out that I was gay for safety because of the previous two reasons. And there was some concerns going on within the company, that there might be some shenanigans that might be pulled where in terms of like strikes and stuff like that. So I've
I don't
heard.
remember that part. Were they
Well,
threatening strikes?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I was
I
scared.
hope they strike.
I was scared for my safety because I have to walk into the building where they will not let us in.
Don't be scared. I mean,
Well,
I know you don't work there anymore.
Well, that's what I would have been to them.
Don't go to work.
I can't not show up.
You'd be a scab.
then I would inherently be one. But
We don't report scabs here.
regardless,
Unions.
right. I support people working for a paycheck. I don't care what the fuck it is. Regardless, I was already having this level of anxiety going to work and working in that environment. It's also a very old school male dominated industry, office, and you could just tell that, you know, me saying I was gay was not going to be taken very well. So I kept it to myself. And there came a scenario where for the entire month of November, I was waiting for my cycle, had not came yet until the last week of November.
By cycle, you mean period.
Yes. So I'm waiting for this to happen. I'm like 30 minutes before our meeting, I actually get my period. It's a daily meeting. So I'm like, okay, I'm cramping really, really bad. It's, practically my lower extremities are numb. It's usually horrible the first day, so it's fine, whatever. I didn't have any Advil, so I'm like just trying to stick it out and stay focused. So I'm like, okay, we go into our meeting, and you could tell throughout the whole day that there was something wrong just by my face. Like it was very clear that I was not myself. I was less talkative, less bubbly,
I'm also the same way. If I'm suffering, you'll fucking know.
Yeah, like I can mask it pretty well. Like I'll still get my stuff done, but I'm just not as bubbly or outgoing.
Mm-hmm.
So, you could kind of tell. And I was sitting at my desk, we go into the meeting, and then I'm kind of in and out of focus during the meeting, genuinely, because I'm in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And then my boss tells me and the person who's training me to go on the floor to find some information that was not immediate information, that was an emergency. He stated to another facility, hey, we'll let you know in about 30 minutes. He set the time limit, which was not an urgent need. He could have said, we'll let you know as soon as we can. That would have been sufficeable too. So then, whatever. So then we come back, meeting is over, everybody's at their desks, boss is nowhere to be found. So I tell the kid, hey, I'm going to run to the bathroom. I'll be right back. He's like, okay, cool. I'll start the paperwork on that. And I'm like, great, not a problem. I run to the bathroom, come back. The kid filled out the paperwork. He's like, I'm going on lunch. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll take lunch too. That way we're not off schedule in case, I need to sit with him for whatever reason. Fine. So he's sitting at his desk eating lunch. I'm sitting at my desk eating lunch. It's probably about, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes into our lunch break. And we're maybe 20 feet apart from each other in open cubicles, where if I were to say, have a conversation that's not whispering, he could probably hear it if he was paying attention. So that's kind of the dynamic of the space. And my boss comes over and says to me, hey, what are you doing? I asked for this information and it's been longer than 30 minutes, and I told them I'd have it in 30 minutes. There were two of you. How come you guys didn't say anything? And I'm like, oh, there was this many. So and so has the paperwork filled out. And, I'm sorry, I'm just off my game today. Because I truly was. And it was not technically an urgent thing. So I didn't think it was a huge deal. So he's like, well, no off days. I can't take them, so neither can you. And I was like, okay, all right, whatever. And he's like, is this going to be an ongoing problem for you? And I'm like, no, it's not going to be a problem. It's just, lady problems. He's like, oh, well, I have 6 sisters and they've never had any issue like this before. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not your fucking sister. And what does your sisters have to do with my fucking period? First of all, that makes no sense. I'm saying this all in my head. And then he comes over and he's like, well, it's not like we just can't hire women. Like, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, I'm not asking you to do anything. in my head, I'm saying, I'm not asking you to do anything. I wasn't asking for any empathy. I wasn't asking for any breaks on anything. I wasn't, complaining. I was just saying I was off my game and being very vague about it.
Just understanding on a human to human basis. Hey, I'm in pain. I'm kind of suffering right now. I have no control on the matter. I'm just trying my best.
Right. It's like, hey, I'm just having an off day. It could have been a family member passing. It could have been me waking up with a migraine. It could have been, me not getting enough sleep. It could have been literally anything. Anything. So he proceeds to say that, and I'm sure my face turned red. And I'm like, nope, it's not going to be a problem. It won't happen again. Don't worry. And I must have said it in a way where he knew he kind of fucked up. So then he walks away. 5, 10 minutes later, this other girl comes over. She's like, hey, him and I are going to go in this meeting to talk about this. You're more than welcome to come and sit in if you'd like. And I'm like, okay, not a problem. I'll be in a couple minutes. So as I'm grabbing my laptop, I'm walking into the conference room. She's already in there by the door. He's walking out towards me, and he states pretty much verbatim, this doesn't concern you. You don't need to be in here. Go sit down. In a very nasty tone. And so I go sit down. I'm holding back tears. I run to the bathroom to shed a couple before I break down. And I genuinely thought about packing up my shit while he was in the meeting and just walking out and just not coming back. Because I was not going to be talked to like that at all. So I was like, no, I only have an hour and a half. Stick it out, calm down, it's fine, whatever. So about half an hour before my shift ends, he comes over and puts his hand on my shoulder.
Ew.
Yeah, unacceptable.
Don't touch me.
Right. You should not be touching a female coworker like that unless, like, you guys are close, like father-daughter. But that was not the relationship. There are some coworkers where, like, I've worked with them long enough and they are like my work dad, where if they did that, be I'd be comfortable with it in a way, and it wouldn't be weird. It would be like a genuine thing. But this was just creepy. I don't know him like that. He doesn't know me like that. There's no way that he should be doing that.
Or literally just ask, like, is it okay if I give you a hug right now? Like, I'm sorry. No.
There was no reason for him to even do that. There wasn't anything going on.
Yeah.
And he puts his hand on my shoulder and he's like, whatever you're going through, just take care of yourself, okay? And I'm like, thinking in my head, I'm like, does he think that I had like a miscarriage?
Jesus Christ.
Cause like I just got
You're putting me through
it, yeah, I'm like, I just got my period, dude. Like I'm having really bad cramps. Like I will literally be fine tomorrow. It's not a big deal. Like it's just the first day. It's not that big of a deal.
Like this sucks, but I've dealt with it a million times before.
Yeah, I'm like it always sucks like this. Like my bad, dude. I've been here a month. What do you expect? So then after he says that, like a half an hour later, I'm packing up, getting ready to like put my coat on, grab my purse, whatever, lock up my desk. And he kind of talks over the wall. He's like, are you coming in tomorrow?" And we were supposed to get some snow, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll be in tomorrow. I'll just leave a little bit early," thinking he was talking about the snow. And this was a Tuesday. So he was concerned that I wasn't going to show up the next day. Well, he's lucky I even showed up the rest of the fucking week. So the days go on. I'm like, all right, dude, I don't want to look at you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to do, like, don't look at me. I don't want nothing to do with you. I stayed away from him as best that I could, although I did feel this level of added anxiety when I was going to work where I just genuinely did not want to go. I was having panic attacks before I would go in, especially on Sunday nights where I'm like, oh, I only have a finite amount of time before I have to be there and I don't want to be there. I'm not liked. I'm not feeling
Yeah,
like part of the team.
you were like calling everybody, like, I really want to do this.
Yeah, I was like, please, somebody give me the green light to not go.
I was.
So, then on Friday, I had called HR and let them know of the scenario that happened that I had just stated, where he was like, we can't just not hire women because that was completely uncalled for. That's gender discrimination, point blank, period, black and white. There's no two ways about it. There's no gray area. So I called them, and it was as if I was explaining to a police officer about a sexual assault and nothing was going to be done. And it's like, okay, I know this is the right thing to do. However, I could get retaliation for this. I don't know if I'm going to want to come back. Um, I could face more harassment. Nothing could be done. So there were a lot of things going against me at this point, even just saying something. And it felt super embarrassing where afterwards I like cried all the way home. So I'm like, yeah, that was super scary. I've never had to do that before.
Yeah, because you were telling this random person you've never met some very vulnerable stuff that hit you very hard,
Right.
and not knowing what was going to happen as a result of it.
Exactly. So, um, I had also stated to her, like, hey, today is Friday. I'm also scheduled to come in tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be continuing my employment, and I also don't know if I'm going to be showing up tomorrow or Monday. And she was like, okay. And I was like, I just want to make note that this is on record. And also, I don't know if this is a pattern with this person. I've heard that this was a high turnover rate in this under his leadership. So I don't know if this is a pattern that you may want to check into. This is what I've just heard. But I am considering not being an employee any longer. And then my mom convinced me to go Saturday to, just see how it is. And I was like, okay, fine. So I went, and I as we all know, maybe or maybe not, I have a crooked fucking septum where I literally cannot breathe. Okay? So I have to use Sinex like every couple hours and blow my nose.
I would like to take a moment to recognize how happy I am that I started calling it cocaine just to make fun of you, and now you genuinely call it cocaine.
No, it is just Sinex nasal spray. It does help me breathe. Thank fucking Jesus. But after I use it, I do get the sniffle sometimes. So if I'm in public, I will go to the bathroom and use it because odds are I have to blow my nose immediately afterwards. So it does look very suspicious.
Like a down the line.
Pretty much. So I'm like, whatever. I need to be able to breathe. I don't really care. I'm not doing anything wrong. They can drug test me. It's fine. With that being said, on Saturday, he said, hey, you're good to head out. And I was like, okay, cool. I was packing up my stuff, and I had a Celsius on my desk, which is a vitamin-based energy drink. Can get it anywhere, 7-Eleven, Speedway. And he walks over and he's like, oh, is that your go-go juice? And I'm like, yeah, gotta stay awake somehow. And, or he has said something similar to it. I can't remember. But then I said, oh, yeah, I gotta stay awake somehow. And he was like, well, you might as well just snort cocaine then, because that's all that's in those things. And I'm like,
absolutely not.
I'm like,
that's out of black.
I almost said been there, done that, not doing it again, but I didn't want to implicate myself. And I know I'm a little bit, a tad bit thicker in the buttocks area, and I am a Caucasian, but I'm not that kind of snow bunny, okay?
What?
A snow bunny.
Never heard of it.
It's fine. Basically, a snow bunny could be just a thick Caucasian woman that likes people of not Caucasian race, or it could be a woman who likes the white cocaine stuff.
Oh.
From what I have heard. There could be other meanings. I could have them wrong, but that's what I've heard. So I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. I genuinely thought it was kind of funny that he was implicating that. And then as he's walking away, because I was like, oh no, it's just vitamins in there. Like, that's why I go to the bathroom so much because I pee it out. And he's like, oh, it's crack cocaine, it's crack cocaine. And then in the back of my head, I'm like, crack cocaine and cocaine are different. They're very different.
Energy drinks are very, very not that.
Yeah, I'm like, if it was a Monster, okay, cool, maybe questionable. Coca-Cola, fucking definitely. Pepsi, probably.
I mean, Coke used to have Coke in it.
Right, exactly. But I'm like, dude, don't be a boomer. And after that, I was like, you know what? I'm not going back. Fuck this shit. I'm not going to be talked to like that. I'm not going to be implicated like that. I don't deserve to be spoken to or treated that way. This is a problem. I've never felt like this in a position before. I physically and mentally just cannot do it. So on Monday or Sunday night, I sent an email saying, hey, effective immediately, I'm resigning my position in this role. And I called HR Monday morning, put in my resignation, clicked a button, and I am now unemployed as of
I
this
am
moment.
so goddamn proud of you.
It is very scary. I would,
Oh, for sure.
10 out of 10 would not recommend it unless you absolutely have to, which was the scenario that I was in where I could not mentally do it and I was hurting myself. So I'm like, okay, this constitutes a time where I should probably not stick it out.
It feels like the mental sense of security level of like being on a boat that's going down and knowing that the only option you have is to either jump in the water and hope you survive that way or stay on the boat and know you'll drown, you know?
Pretty much, yeah.
Also, I almost feel like when the dude was trying to comfort you after he said that icky thing, I almost feel like he felt like the writing was on the wall, like he recognized a look in you or something or a reaction.
He knew he fucked up.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Because why else would you come
So
over trying to be all tender and whatever?
I guarantee you he was not surprised when you left.
Oh no, he texted me on Monday saying, "Oh, were you off? Like,
What a jackass.
sending prayers for
Fucking
you."
email.
And then he sent me a message like, so the first message was like 2 hours after I called HR and resigned, and then later on in the afternoon around 3:30, he was like, the team is worried about you. Hope everything
Jesus
is okay.
Christ.
Prayers, I tried calling your phone,
Please fuck
but
off.
wow, Allie. And I'm like, this is specifically why I blocked your phone number when I sent the email because I'm not going to. You sound like a crazy ex boyfriend right now. Stop it. I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to be your demeanor. That's why I did it specifically this way because I hate confrontation and I will be damned if I see, a confrontational person on my line blowing up my phone at 10 o'clock at night. It just ain't going to fucking happen. Not at all, sir.
Yeah, that is even worse because
Especially from a manager.
You explicitly told him that you were leaving and don't contact me. So why the hell is he just pretending like you didn't send him anything
Right.
at all?
Also,
Like it's so out of the blue. He definitely knew he fucked up.
Oh,
He knew the writing was on the wall.
Absolutely. I think by Saturday he thought that I wasn't going to leave because I had stayed
Like, oh, you
4 days. He's like, "Oh yeah, you kept coming back the next few days, so like she's good, she's fine, whatever." Nope.
No.
Mm-mm. And I'm supposed to be awaiting a call from HR, or sorry, peer relations. I have not gotten anything this week. They said 3 business days. It's been 4. I have not received anything. So I think tomorrow I will just call and have to be like, hey, and please give an update.
Definitely mention what he was saying after the fact when he tried to contact you.
Absolutely.
Also, what is peer relations?
So basically the way my chiropractor explained HR is that
Chiropractor.
yeah, listen, I was telling everybody.
Good.
If everybody I told, friends, family, and like borderline strangers was like, yeah, you need to get out and you need to contact HR, then I was like, yeah, I should probably do that. So they said HR isn't necessarily for the people of the company. They are for the reputation of the company.
Oh, fuck off.
Yes, that's
Fuck
how
off.
technically HR is supposed to work. So they're supposed to
That's
make sure
disgusting.
that everybody's happy, everybody does what they're supposed to be doing, resolve any conflicts, and make sure that the company is not affected directly. So,
The cat's tail is in your hair.
oh, I know. So that's why I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get a call back. I don't know if anything is even going to be done. If I resigned and I still haven't received a phone call, probably a good choice that I didn't go back.
They should talk to that man and just be like,
Mhm.
you are a problem.
Mhm.
You cannot keep employees under you because you specifically are a problem. And we did a study and we know that you are the problem.
Mhm. Exactly. So I don't know if what I said was helpful. I don't know if it's going to do anything. I don't know what's going to happen. I guess if y'all want to know, I'll keep y'all updated as without
Updates come.
yeah, without implicating the place or whatever, so or the person. Trying to keep that stuff private and just give the scenario of it. But yeah, so that's been my work story from hell the past month.
I just want to say that I am very, very proud of you for speaking up for yourself and for
Mhm.
reporting it, even though you don't know if it's going to go somewhere,
Mhm.
because that's the first step toward doing anything about it.
Right.
You know, if you just assume that nothing's going to come of it or it's going to be a waste of your time, then nobody's going to speak up on anything.
Right.
And you should be kicking and screaming as loud as you can and saying, help me, you know.
Mhm. And who knows, there may have been people before me that have reported it, and this might be the nail in the coffin, or I might be the first, or I might be somewhere in the middle, but at least I said something and they're aware of it. Where it's on record, if let's say the person who's currently in HR doesn't do a damn thing, but then they leave, someone new comes in and they're like, why are we hiring this guy? Why is this guy still here? Get him out of here. At least there will be maybe some future justice where I know I did the right thing, even though it was hard and even though it was a tough decision to like actually quit. I was more scared to tell my parents that I wanted to do that than the fact of actually doing it.
You did do the right thing, and I'm gonna reiterate what I said when you were considering this whole thing. Is like you are very, very capable of supporting yourself,
Mhm.
and you are gonna be completely fine. And I don't know if you've told Dad yet or not, but he's like, I know he would not want you to be suffering under
Mhm.
this.
Honestly, it's the 7th of the month. I've never had all but 2 bills paid by this early in the month.
Look at you go.
I know, I'm like, what the fuck?
Killing it.
But
Responsible.
I kind of have to be. And
If you have any shitty job stories, you can vent here.
yeah, we appreciate viewer feedback. So if you want us to read something, submit it. Email is open.
And if you want to hear my shitty story, let me know. It's
How convincing, Heather?
it's a lot.
Let me know.
No, it's just exhausting for me to talk about. Like,
Well, let's wrap this up.
I'm going to summarize it in a way that this was a production that I signed up for, which seemed like a very good opportunity for me and ended up just being a production from hell in very many different ways. And there were a lot of twists and turns. And it ended with me getting COVID, so
Oh, Jesus.
I'll never forget that.
Yes. But we hope you like this episode. Thank y'all for listening to us ramble. And updates to come.
Hopefully, I won't be drugged in the next episode.
We're drugged.
First, I was like way too giggly, and then I was just like barely conscious.
Sure.
And now I'm like, okay.
Anyway,
I guess I
like,
just can't have chamomile anymore.
moving on. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a great night. Sappho and her sister out.
See you next time.
Bye.